Now, the most critical part of figuring all of this out is to figure out what sort of time step you're going to be working with, and that is frequently based on what the acceleration information is. And so during the launch, that I know that the acceleration of the balloon is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 meters per second. That your data might be somewhat different, but that's what I'm going to be basing this on. And that is, of course, the hypotenuse of an acceleration triangle. So the legs of the acceleration triangle would be, because you can do the trig in your head, I'm sure, just like me, would be roughly 71 meters per second in both the x and y direction, because we're assuming that you shot this at 45 degrees. Now, of course, your mileage may vary, so you'll need to use your own information. What I think I know from this is that with that kind of acceleration, that I need to look at this at the hundredths of second level, and that's something that comes with experience. So I have the first two numbers of a pattern, so I highlighted them, went to the right hand corner, and I'm pulling down, and I'm just going to pull down for the screen because I don't know how long it's going to take. We'll see. I do know that the acceleration during the launch is going to remain, I was about to say it's going to remain constant. In reality, I hope you realize that the acceleration initially is big, and by the time the launcher is not stretched anymore, the acceleration would be zero based on the launcher. But we're not going to get into that in this class. We're just going to assume that it is a constant velocity, constant acceleration. So now we have the time set up, we have the two accelerations set up, and so the next thing to do is to figure out what the velocity is going to be. And so I know the velocity in the future is going to be equal to the velocity in the past, which is the cell right above it, plus the acceleration, which is the cell right next to it, times the time interval. And so again, as I pointed out before, you don't want to come over here and click on the time. You want to type in the time interval. Okay, it must, oops. Sorry for the brain fart here and the little delay. And so what I will do is I will then copy that on down. And I'm having an issue, so I'm going to pause and fix the issue, and I'll be right back. My issue was that I had multiplied rather than added a plus here. So I fixed that, added the plus here, and so we're good to go. And then I know that what I need to do for position in the future is to know what my position was in the past, plus the velocity that I'm traveling, times the time interval. Again, not the time cell over here, but the time interval. And then I will go ahead and copy that down. And then I'll quickly do the same sort of thing for velocity and position for the y. And so when you come back to the next installment of this, you will see all of the numbers populated.